Hello and welcome, and today we're going to be exploring a long-term goal of mine to build a kind of Tolkien-esque fantasy world, basically an alien planet that has a vast array of flora and fauna and civilizations and lore and history, and a whole ecosystem that's balanced and deep and it all ties in together. Like I said, this is a real long-term plan, but if I'm ever going to do it, I've got to make a start on it. So this is what this video is going to be. It's going to be an intro to this whole scenario, this scene. So the idea is it will kind of set the scene, and then the story will continue from there. And if you guys like it, then make sure to leave a like and a comment, and especially with any suggestions of where you'd like it to go. It's going to be very open. There's not going to be a huge amount of details put into this video. I've got lots of ideas bubbling around in my head that I'm going to expand on and fill in loads of blanks over time. But yeah, I want this to be the sort of the start of a series that I'll return to occasionally. Anyway, enough waffle. Let's just get on with it. This is Sam Phillips of the GS Star Rider. I guess I need to get used to recording things day to day, so might as well make a start now. Let's start with a history lesson. Since my birth 25 years ago, I've been a crew member aboard this generation ship. A 300 metre long space cigar hurtling through the cosmos, maxing out at 0.8 C. I'm amongst the 17th and final generation to be born and raised on this ship as part of its carefully controlled population support programme. We're nearing the end of our journey, which began some 500 years ago, when this ship left Earth with a few hundred brave adventurers aboard. At least those brave adventurers, our great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandparents knew what they were signing up to. We've just been born into this situation. Not that I can really complain about life aboard. Things are stable, safe, predictable. We all get well educated, although whereas previous generations were primarily taught about astronomy and astrophysics so they could help with the many experiments and projects of discovery that this ship uniquely affords us from this vantage point in deep space. For me and the rest of the final generation, we've had a good dollop of survival training thrown in on top. How to build shelters, grow crops, hunt for game and so on. It looks like we're going to be the breadwinners once we reach our final destination. That destination is Lich. It's a system that was picked out as a promising candidate to be Earth's first exoplanetary colony during the Farseer project put together by the Global Space Organisation back on Earth. Lich A is a neutron star, but despite the huge quantities of radiation it's emitting, there are unmistakable biosignatures in the atmosphere of its fourth planet. The best theory is that the atmosphere of the planet combined with strong magnetosphere shields the surface from the worst of it, but frankly we just don't know. Our ship's well equipped to deal with the conditions in any case, so we'll be safe. Apparently there were plenty of more hospitable alternatives to choose from, but none of them had any signs of active complex life on its surface, so of course scientific curiosity was put before our own safety, but what else is new? It's not like we had much of a say in the decision several centuries before our births. We're currently slowing down to enter orbit around Lich A4 and are busy with preparations. I mean, it's a one-shot deal. Not only are our own lives on the line, but if this goes sideways, the lives of all the previous generations over those hundreds of years would have been wasted. Years. I remember sometimes where the word year comes from, how it used to have a specific meaning back on Earth. The time it takes for the planet to orbit its star. Then I realise I'm going to see what a year actually looks like. The passing of the seasons, changing temperatures, rain, snow, wind. Of course we all know what these things are. I mean, it's the first thing they taught us in history class, but to actually experience them is more than pictures and words in a book. I can't help but imagine what it will be like to stand in the open and see for thousands of metres in all directions, with no walls or ceiling, everything around me being lit by the light of the local star. New Earth is in view now as a pale lilac dot, and the parent star has a sight to behold. A bright blue ball with unbridled raw energy shooting out in both directions from its poles. Just a few more hours and we'll be in orbit. Then, After a little surveillance of the surface, we'll pick a landing site, and the first of us will go down in a landing shuttle. I'm going to be in the first landing team. Plan is to set up camp, get the basic survival kit set up, then send the shuttle back for the next lot to come down. Not enough spare space or mass on the ship to have more than one landing shuttle, so looks like it's going to be a slow and steady stream of settlers. The day's finally here. The retro thrusters aren't holding out too well. They've had to round them up a bit when they realised we were coming in a bit too hot. The guys in engineering said it'll be fine, but I didn't like the worried look they gave one another. I heard panicked whispers coming from the engine bay. I'm sure they're right. They always worry too much about the little details. I guess all I can do is focus on operations and hope. I have no idea what's going on. There are sirens going off all over the place, rushed tannoy messages insisting that various elders get their butt up here now, and a few navigation officers are hurriedly climbing ladders to various parts of the ship. All I can make out is this can't be a good sign. I'm going to make my way up to the shuttle just in case we need to make a quick getaway from this rust bucket. I haven't come this far to get snuffed out by some technical malfunction. We're pretty much on top of New Earth now, but it's obvious we're not on the correct orbit trajectory. With all the adjustments to our course to slow us down enough, we've ended up in a direct collision course. The ship was designed to stay in orbit. It will tear itself to pieces on entry into the atmosphere. Looks like a couple of the other colonists have had the same idea as me. We're all nervously hanging around the landing shuttle, wondering if we just go for it. I mean, it could be suicide. This thing was designed to be launched from the optimal orbit and velocity, but I don't fancy our chances just hanging around. It's time to go for it, guys. It's our only hope. I'm alive. How? That was one hell of a ride. We were riding in way too fast. Got beaten about pretty bad. Looks like, as we suspected, we were definitely not on that optimal trajectory. The chutes opened, but didn't do much in the way of slowing us down. At least they stopped us from spinning around too much. Ugh, looks like the others didn't make it. I need to get myself out of these restraints, scope out the area. I've got a feeling I'm on my own from here on in. There's no way Star Rider survived. Damn it. We only have the basics on board the landing shuttle, and most of those haven't survived the landing. If I could find the wreckage of the Star Rider, maybe. But that could be hundreds of kilometres away. One thing at a time. Time to get out of here and assess the situation. Okay, looks like the atmosphere's breathable. Those boffins got one thing right at least. Radiation readings look okay, nothing to worry about immediately at least. Looks like we've landed on the edge of a mountain range. There are huge peaks of rock behind me, all glistening with a purple hue. I have a pretty good vantage point up here. Looks like the terrain is steep but passable on foot. Stretching out from the base of the mountains, nothing but an endless expanse of vast desert, or at least as far as I can tell. Despite having a high vantage point here, I can't see the horizon. The ground and sky just get swallowed by a pale purple mist into the distance. That sky, wow. I can see the light from the local star in the horizon, although it's heavily diffused by that same purple colour. And those aurorae. I believe Earth had something similar, but this looks nothing like textbooks I've seen. Bright electric blue bands stretching across the entire sky, violently snapping and snaking into different shapes. Right, I need to find a place to set up camp. Should probably find shelter in a mountainside cave somewhere along this ridgeline. What's that? I'm not sure if my eyes have adjusted to the light or the mist has just lifted slightly, but I can see something built into one of the rock faces, maybe 10k away. It's hard to make out any details, but there seem to be bright lights in some kind of structured pattern. Must be a settlement of some kind. So there's intelligent species here. I've got to make my way over there. It's risky, but I think it's my only shot. I can't survive here by myself. I just hope they're friendly. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to support me and the channel, then leave a like, leave a comment and consider subscribing if you haven't already. It really does help out a lot. Visit www.carriejacobsart.com where you can find my prints, my t-shirts and my Star Stuff art kits, all for sale. And of course you can follow me on Facebook and Instagram at Carrie Jacobs Art. Cheerio.